Alderman Govea.
In regard to multi-year contract for uniform cleaning services in the amount not to exceed $11,000 funded from General Fund 61 Supplies and Materials, I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 3-year contract for uniform cleaning services for the Medication Division with Crown Uniform and Linen Services in the amount not to exceed $11,100. Funding will be through Department 152 Fire Rescue Fund, General Fund 61 Supplies and Materials.
And I think Mr. Chief Pouliot is here.
Hi, Adam Pouliot, Assistant Fire Chief. So in our last collective bargaining agreement signed back in 2023, a provision was put in there that we would provide uniform service for our mechanics by the nature of their job. They get dirty a lot, they go through a lot of uniforms. So like I said, provision was put in for us to do uniform service for them. We have struggled to find a vendor that would do business with us for just 3 members. So in the interim, we've been providing them with dry cleaning services, which has been costing us about $500 a month, $6,000 a year. We were finally able to work out an agreement with Crown Linens for a total of $60 a week, so about half that annual cost that we're paying for dry cleaning. Their minimum contract is 3 years, and it provides 4 shirts, 4 pairs of pants, a jacket, and 100 mechanic wipes per week, providing us exactly what we need.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Roll call.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yeah,
You are
yes.
good. Alderman Govea, yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes. Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2024 Freightliner truck in the amount of $248,019 funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay / Improvement, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a 2024 Freightliner dump truck with plow and sander from Viking Civics in the amount of $248,019. Funding will be through Department 191 School Department Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay Improvements.
Mr. Smith is here, I think.
Good evening, Sean Smith, Plant Operations Director for the School District. We have 2 vehicles of this size. We replaced one, actually we received it just before Christmas, which was a nice present because we were just down to 1 truck at that point. The second truck, we've been told will not pass inspection this coming year. 2009, a lot of rust, body rot. So we're looking to replace it at this point, and as we indicated, it's a FY25 SURF purchase.
All right, anybody? Questions? Would you please call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes. Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager. Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2024 Caterpillar 826 landfill compactor in the amount of $990,000 funded from bond / SURF 81 capital outlay and improvements, I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of one 2024 Caterpillar 826 landfill compactor from Milton Cat in the amount of $990,000. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund Bond SURF 81 capital outlay improvements.
Yes, and Mr. LaFleur is here via Zoom, I believe.
Yes, sir. Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste. This is the, actually, if you look at the screen, that's the compactor that we'll be buying. It's what crushes the trash, compacts it, and saves the airspace for the city of Napa.
Anybody? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes, motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to engineering services for Phase 5, Stage 1 landfill construction quality assurance services in the amount of $441,500, funded from Bond 53 Professional Technical Services. I'm going to make a motion to accept and place on file an award contract to perform field observation, consultation quality assurance, and related engineering activities to document the construction of Phase 5, Stage 1 landfill with Sanborn Head and Associates in the amount of $441,500. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste, Fund Bond 53 Professional Technical Services.
Mr. LaFleur?
Jeff LaFleur, Superintendent of Solid Waste, thank you. Yes, this is exactly what it states. It's the engineering for the Phase 4 landfill construction that we're planning on getting going here in the short future here. It'll need an engineer on site per DES permitting and requirements.
Could you please call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
yes,
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
yes,
Mayor Donches.
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes. Next communication, again from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of 2 Trillium pumps in the amount of $120,480, funded from WERF/81 Capital Outlay and Improvements. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 2 Trillium pumps to transfer sludge from the digester to the dewatering process from Westcore Associates in the amount of $120,480. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste, WERF/81 Capital Outlay Improvements.
Yes,
Thank you.
Mr.
Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. This is to replace 2 of the pumps at our wastewater facility. The pumps are designed to pump a thickened sludge from our digester complex to our dewatering process. The existing pumps are beyond their useful life. They became obsolete, so we can't get parts for them to do services. So we'd like to purchase these 2 out of our WERF account.
All right, anybody? Alderman Thibodeau.
What is the life expectancy of these replacement units?
Well, these are 10 years.
Or 10 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Would you please call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
yes,
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
yes,
Mayor Donches.
Yes, motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to fire alarm upgrades for the wastewater treatment facility in the amount of $1,395,000, funded from wastewater 81 capital outlay improvements. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and award a contract for construction of the fire alarm upgrade project with Minuteman Security and Life Safety in the amount of $1,395,000. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater, Fund Wastewater 81 capital outlay/improvements.
Dave
Yes.
Boucher, wastewater superintendent. Most of the equipment, the controls for the fire alarm system is over 20 years old at the facility. We've had ongoing issues with it. It's not up to code. We have approximately 16 buildings that are going to get new equipment in it. This includes control panels, pull boxes, light and audible alarms, smoke and heat ducts throughout the facility. And this would bring us up to code. Be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody? All those in favor of the motion say
Roll
aye.
call.
Oh, sorry. We call the roll, please?
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
yes,
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
yes,
Mayor Donches.
Yes,
7-0.
motion passes. Next communication, again from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to contract for on-call engineering services funded from wastewater 53 professional and technical services, I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a multi-year, 3-year on-call engineering contract with Wright Pierce. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater, Fund Wastewater 53 professional and technical services.
Go ahead.
Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. This is for entering into a contract for professional engineering services with on-call general services such as mechanical, process troubleshooting, also project development. The qualified firm also had to have disciplines in electrical, mechanical, process, HVAC, and other wastewater-related fields. We had firms submit letters of interest. We had 3 firms submit. We interviewed them. They did presentations. We chose Wright Pierce as the best qualified. And this is for services, holidays, weekends, nights. Whenever we have an issue, we can rely on the services of a professional engineer that's steeped in the wastewater field. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you. So, is this something new, or is this something that we've done before in the past differently?
No, we've done this before in the past, but we've had a gap. So we've had a contract with someone, then we've had a gap with, we call them up and get services, but not as a contract. There's other engineering services out there. I know Wright Pierce has been working with us because they've been with us with a lot of internal projects at the facility. But no, it's not new. We've done it prior to me being there. I came in 2018.
Okay.
And it's pretty standard for all wastewater facilities to have someone at their beckoning call when emergencies happen.
So I know it was before your time, but do you know why we stopped doing it, or?
No, I'm not sure. I know sometimes we'd have like a drawdown account for the small stuff. This goes a little bit more though with different projects. Now we have a lot of projects going on at the facility. The larger projects, we'd not necessarily use this company. We could, but this is more for the small stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question on this is, so what's the compensation change here? I went through the contract briefly. I didn't see it. So is it like an hourly as we use it kind of thing?
Yes, it is. They have rates for whatever individual they utilize.
Okay.
Because they have professionals that are in the process control. If we have issues with our process, we can't figure out. We have professionals that know wastewater treatment and can assist us with fixing the process. Biologically, they tell us what to do. So that person might come at a lower rate than, say, one of the higher senior engineers.
Follow-up?
Yes.
So in the past, how much have we used this, and do you have any ballpark estimation of how much we've spent on it?
Usually we've used this no, I don't have a ballpark number. There were some emergencies that they were utilized prior to me being there, kind of disastrous ones during floodings. But no, I know we've utilized them throughout the years for, usually we set up a bid or something like that and utilize them. We have called them more recently for services, like I mentioned, process control, but it's not as a contract thing. I couldn't put a number on it.
One more follow-up.
Yes, yeah.
So you would say this is a rare usage? This isn't something that would be commonly used, because if there is time, it mostly will go out to bid?
Right.
Okay.
This is more for emergency situations where we need them at, that call on a weekend, holiday, stuff like that.
Thank you.
Alderman Thibodeau.
So I get that it's an on-call thing. I mean, it would be nice, I would think, to see like a not to exceed or something like that. I mean, it almost seems like I get that it's used rarely.
Right.
But it seems like, almost like writing a blank check. And so it's kind of, I'm hesitant about approving it without knowing even a rough ballpark of, it's going to be $200,000, $500,000, without knowing some kind of a ballpark.
Yeah, my experience has never been that high. It's like I said, I couldn't put a number on it. It depends what the service you're looking for is. More recently, it's been process control help, which is low dollars, less than 2,000.
Can you recall,
And
can
infrequently.
you recall approximately how much was spent in calendar year 2024?
Well, for on-call services,
Yeah. For what we're,
yeah,
doing.
I'd say it's the process control, so I don't think we've been over 4,000 for that service.
Alderman Moran.
Thank you. In the contract, did they provide a fee schedule? Would a breakdown of what each service would cost?
I thought it was in there.
I'll take your word for it. So with knowing that there's a fee schedule and someone managing.
Yeah, it should be in
the
there.
contract.
Sorry, I don't have it with me.
Yeah, so, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
I think if we have a fee schedule, you're managing a contract, you know what the cost is, you have the contractor come out to do that, you're managing based off the fee schedule, and they can't up and change the rates for 3
Correct.
years. So I'm comfortable with that.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think where I'm coming at, and I understand my concerns with my colleague from Ward 6, if we go into something catastrophic, we don't have time to go through an RFP process. And I think seeing how little we've utilized this in the past, and it's been more of a low dollar amount, I'm fine with having it there because it almost seems to me like it's one of those things that, you don't really think of until you really need it. And if this isn't in place and we really need it, I could see this kind of spiraling out of control very quickly, especially if we had some catastrophic failure where we needed to know now, and we now need to go through a whole process to get it done. So I'm in favor of this, even though it usually goes against what I think of exactly what you said of kind of putting a blank check out there.
All right, anyone else? All those in favor of the motion?
Roll
say- Oops. All those in favor of the motion, answer yes to the roll call.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Mayor Donches.
Yes.
7-0.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. Oh, would you mind staying around just for a little bit?
Sure.
Because we've got that emergency PO, which is quite
I will.
significant, and we should probably give some explanation on that. All right, next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Hybrid AWD vehicle in the amount of $56,799.32 funded from SURF/81 Capital Outlay and Improvement. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Utility Hybrid All-Wheel Drive marked vehicle from McGovern MGQ Incorporated in the amount of $56,799.32. Funding will be through Department 150 Police Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay Improvements.
Go ahead.
Jim Trammell, Assistant Fleet Supervisor, Nashville Police. This is actually an unmarked unit, and it's a police package. We're looking to replace an older model that is up for SURF replacement, and we're replacing it with that unit.
All right, anybody? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran.
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons.
Yes.
Alderman Clee.
Yes.
Mayor Donches.
Yes.
7-0.
Next communication, that motion passes, of course. That next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Hybrid All-Wheel Drive vehicle in the amount of $64,077 funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay Improvement. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Hybrid All-Wheel Drive unmarked vehicle from McGovern MGQ Incorporated in the amount of $64,077. Funding will be through Department 150 Police Department Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay Improvement.
Jim Trammell, Assistant Fleet Supervisor, Nashville Police. This is actually going to be a POP vehicle, police-oriented, problem-oriented policing. We're replacing a school vehicle that is dated and on the SURF schedule. we will be taking the current POP unit and putting it in the school and replacing the more aggressive vehicle with a newer vehicle.
Alderman Govea.
Thank you. I guess my main question here, and it's kind of a running theme as we go through all these replacements, is, so what's the difference of this one and the last one we approved, that is 56,000, this one obviously being 64?
This one has additional equipment, rifle racks, and other equipment in the rear to accommodate their gear, versus the other one, which is just an unmarked vehicle.
Okay, thank you.
Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Oh, Alderman Jettie.
Yeah, so I had a question. I noticed that these are hybrid vehicles, but I don't see, I thought we had adopted a policy where, we had to make an inquiry as to whether there was, electric vehicles that would satisfy the purpose.
And I think we've done that. I think what you determined, the police department, is that because the vehicles run 24 hours a day and are heavily used, that there would not be sufficient time to recharge the vehicles and use electric. Is that?
Not at this time.
Yeah. But they did look into it. But instead they got the hybrid. But you're getting better mileage, right? Like 6-7 miles.
During the idle time, it's definitely saving gas,
Yeah.
a lot.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes, motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2025 Ford Police Interceptors hybrid all-wheel drive vehicles in the amount of $262,698.16, funded from SURF/81 Capital Outlay Improvement. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 2025 Ford Police Interceptor utility hybrid all-wheel drive marked vehicles from McGovern MGQ Incorporated in the amount of $262,698.16. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department, Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay/Improvements.
Jim Trammell, Assistant Fleet Supervisor. These are 4 fully marked police cars, replacing 4 that are on the SURF schedule. Most of the equipment can be transferred from the older vehicle to the new vehicle, with the exception of the computer mount, because there was a redesign of the dashboard of the vehicle.
Anyone? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2025 Ford Police Interceptor hybrid all-wheel drive vehicles in the amount of $162,796.16, funded from SURF/81 Capital Outlay Improvement. I'm going to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 2025 Ford Police Interceptor utility hybrid all-wheel drive vehicles from McGovern MGQ Incorporated in the amount of $162,796.16. Funding will be through Department 150, Police Department, Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay Improvements.
Jim Trammell, Assistant Fleet Supervisor, Police Department. These are 2 marked patrol vehicles to replace 2 older K-9 units. The price has increased because the model years have changed and they were redesigned, so we have to completely outfit these 2 vehicles.
All right, anybody? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next communication is from John Griffin, Chief Financial Officer, regarding a response to questions on December 18th. If there are this is an informational item. If there are no objections, I will accept this and place it on file. After that is a communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, regarding an emergency PO for CRISP Contracting. Again, an informational item. If there are no objections, we'll accept that and place it on file. Then another communication, this time from, again, Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, regarding an emergency PO concerning the wastewater treatment plant. This is a more significant item, so Mr. Boucher, and I do understand it, but I think you can you can explain it better than I can. So could you please tell people what this was?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. At the wastewater plant, we have 2 mechanical bar screens. They span 3 stories high. They're stainless steel. They have typical wear parts on them, so this is to replace the wear parts, the standard wear parts on it. Includes chains and gears. So this came in at a high cost. We did the emergency PO because the company was offering a $26,000 savings if we purchased it before the end of 2024 to get the order in. But that's
And as I understand it, you were doing a pipe replacement project throughout the plant.
That's correct. So this is, we do have a project going on right now, which bypasses this facility that these screens are in. But these screens have to be up and ready for when the flow goes back through this facility. This piece of equipment brings heavy material out of the wastewater to ground level. Right now, we have some issues with directing the flow through our wet weather facility on site. So we're trying to get this facility, the main facility, back up and running as soon as possible by upgrading this equipment before we divert the flow back to it. The piping's been removed from our main building, the internal piping, and so there's kind of a rush getting that piping back in, so we want to get this project done before that's completed.
Okay. Anybody?
I know that's a lot to ingest.
Please call the roll.
That was without objection.
Oh, this is,
Yeah.
okay, we're accepting this without objection, but we appreciate your explanation.
Thank
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. New business, or resolutions and ordinances, we have none. Tabled in committee. Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to remove from the table the record of expenditures from November 29, 2024 to December 12, 2024.
Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clements?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
All right. So we take the item from the table. Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the Finance Committee has compiled with city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of November 29, 2024 to December 12, 2024, and would like to speak to that motion.
Okay, please go ahead.
So originally, in the last Finance Committee meeting we had, there were two disbursements that showed up on the record that went to the National Performing Arts Center and the other company, the real estate company, I can't think off the top of my head. And I asked questions about those 2 transactions. The communication that was put forth in today's packet of this meeting explains those thoroughly, and it's just a confusing process of how that all works out, but it's playing out the way it is designed to. Just kind of a confusing process to go forward. So with that, I have no issue with this record.
All right, so the motion is to approve this record of expenditure. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clements?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
All right, now we go to the current record of expenditures. Alderman Govea.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the Finance Committee has compiled with city charters and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures from the period of December 13, 2024 to January 2nd, 2025.
All those in, excuse me, roll call. Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govazzi, yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clee?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
Motion passes. General discussion. Any general discussion? Public comment. Any member of the public wish to address the Finance Committee? Please step forward.
Matthew Guthrow, 104 Fawn Lane in Nashua. I just wanted to bring up, I noticed here on the Finance Committee agenda, in one of the expenditures, John Griffin's name on here, and I spoke with him last night. It was my understanding that he had retired as Chief Financial Officer in some of the communications that were made to the public, and I mentioned that to him last night, and he had mentioned that he was working part-time. It concerns me as a member of the public that as a city, as we are careening towards over a $500 million budget, that we have a part-time CFO here in the city, especially with the amount of bonding that happens in the city, with the amount of the amount of purchasing that we have going on in this city, with the amount of public spending that we have going on, that we have someone that's our chief financial officer is a part-time person. And what are we going to do to get a full-time representative in that position? Because I think that's an important job, especially with the amount of financial accompaniment that happens in this city. It's an important job.
Definitely important job. The plan is that he will work in that capacity through the end of the fiscal year, June 30, where to get us through the next budget with an experienced CFO, and then at that time to hire a replacement. There may be an internal candidate, and if there is, that person would be better prepared as a result of working with Mr. Griffin over these months. And so this, again, this is an interim measure and isn't intended as like a permanent situation.
Okay. I just, as a resident, it's quite concerning, especially with the breadth of the amount of financial options that are happening in this city.
I understand.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public want to speak to the Finance Committee?
Lori Ortolano, 41 Berkeley Street. I just want to address a right-to-know issue that I had sent to the full board. I'm always looking for ways to reduce the burden or have a policy work for me. And I sent a question on the 29th of December to Mr. Perrin and asked when the comprehensive annual financial report would be up on the city website for, I didn't think 23 was there, it was, and 24, when that would be completed. And if the MS9s and MS10s for these trust funds were on the city website, could he just please direct me to where they were? And I was looking for 9 years of those. Today I received a response to my questions, which was a records response where he sent 470 pages of responsive records of MS9s and 10s, did not address the other questions, told me that's only batch 1, and they were producing 9 years of those. I actually did a records request for 2020 to 2024, which was being filled. I did not want 2016 to 2024. I only asked for where it was on the website. I have no mechanism to communicate with them. So I get 470 pages of responsive records with another batch coming. I actually left a message on his phone machine. He doesn't allow me usually to call, but I had no other choice because January 13th, they're going to produce the remaining batches. I don't want them. If you're going back to 2016 and 2019, Don't give them to me. I didn't make that records request. And if, you know, I'm frustrated that the city views my requests as a burden. And when I ask a simple question, which I came here to the board and addressed on December 26th, that I asked a simple question for the name of the trust accountant, and I was told to turn that into a records request. And had you had a board of trustees for the trust funds with minutes and meetings, I would have known. And then, here I go again on the 29th with a simple question, and I get 450-plus pages. I'm frustrated, because that allows you, people and city leaders, to publicly bash me for burdening them, for filing too many right-to-know requests when it was a question, and I'm really not an advocate of keeping that position anymore. It creates more liability than benefit. When I have the ability to go to a department, I find them great. I can tell you the DRA and the Department of Justice have been excellent with me. I get records in 2 days. I'm sitting down here being told I have to wait 5 weeks from the city. It's not working. It's malicious, I think. It doesn't have an avenue to communicate. And I'm letting you know, because I reached out on the 29th when I made that request, and I said, any board members with courage, step up and address this. Nobody did, and I just sent it to you, the 450-plus pages and the response I got from the city. Malicious. And I have to try and stop that, and I don't even know how. Thank you.
Any other member of the public wish to speak to the Finance Committee? All right. Remarks by Alderman.
I do have one question. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Alderman Govea.
I actually have a question for Mr. Smith, if I can.
Yes, of course.
So on the communication.
He's still here.
Yes.
Please just come on up.
Thank you. And I meant to say this when we were doing that communication. I was a little sidetracked with all these roll calls tonight. But I do have a question about the communication we approved for the plow truck. So this was being taken care of through SURF, and I went through the SURF schedule and didn't see it on there. So is this replacing the other vehicles that were on that SURF plan for this, or is this in addition to those?
It replaces them. I sent a communique to John Griffin about a year ago to change around the established schedule, because we had just found out one of our trucks was told we couldn't drive it anymore, and the other one was just a year later. So I jumbled things around, and that's why we got this one this year.
Perfect. I was just making sure, because the prices seem relatively the same of those 3 vehicles to this plow, so the numbers added up. Okay, thank you.
Any other remarks by Alderman? If not, I will look to Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Alderman Thibodeau?
Yes.
Alderman Govea is a yes. Alderman Moran?
Yes.
Alderwoman Timmons?
Yes.
Alderman Clemmons?
Yes.
Alderman Cleet?
Yes.
Mayor Donches?
Yes.
7-0.
And the Finance Committee meeting of January 8th is adjourned at approximately 7:39 PM. Thank you very much.